Everybody. It is my pleasure to be here today. Very exciting. Happy to see the energy, the fantastic vibe that you guys have already. Surrounded by HR professionals. First things I want to say, how many of you are HRCI certified? Let me see hands. All right. I'm in good company then. So as I've been introduced, I go by JD Nomdedeu. I'm Managing Director of Global Operations at HR Certification Institute, HRCI. And before I begin, a few things that I want to share with you so that you don't hold them against me. First is, despite my American accent with a Spanish twist, that's my origin, originally from Spain. Second is, I have no background in HR whatsoever, so I'm going to keep things at a very general level. But I know that you guys are going to connect it with your own experiences. And the last thing is, unlike others present, I don't have any skills, any talents, so don't expect that I'm going to sing or dance or anything like that. By the title of today's session, you might think, well, this is something that is from yesterday, 10 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago. My purpose today is to show those of you who are certified to explain why this is the time for you, why this is relevant. And to those of you who are not familiar with HRCI, to introduce the Institute and the certification programs that we have to offer and the community that comes with it. And I'm trying to connect that with some of the comments that we heard in previous sessions. So I think I'm going to be able to tie this together and show why that relevance is so current. As we have heard, we live in uncertain times. It's not scary, it's just change. And we've been experiencing change for a while, and it's happening very, very fast. The question is, who is going to manage that change? Who is managing it right now? And who has been managing it for the last few decades as we enter the era of information? The problem is not access to information, it's what to do with that information. Who is going to manage that? The answer is an elite of global HR professionals who are certified and who are dedicated to the continuous improvement in their professional development and the organizations that they contribute to with their skills. That's what HRCI is. That's the HRCI community. That's the HRCI certified professional community. HRCI, we have a vision. People and organizations perform better because of us. How do we do that? We empower HR with our learning and our certification programs. And you might think, well, that's a lofty goal, a lot of nice words. A lot of nonprofits, we're a nonprofit, have that kind of aspirational goals. So how do we make sure that this is not something that stays on a nice slide? Have something to back it up. If there's one slide that I want you to remember visually, this is why it's clean, why it's clear. It's this one. In the 50 years that we've been around, we're celebrating our 50th anniversary, we have certified over 500,000 people present in over 125 countries. That's it. And once again, those of you who are certified know, and those of you who are not certified have never heard of HRCI. How is this possible? Where has HRCI been? How did this happen? Let me add one more thing, because this is just numbers. Well, what's the reality situation? What does the market think? What if I told you 95% of Fortune 500 companies have HRCI certified individuals? That makes it real. That's how we know that we're doing something right. And this is the timeline of our history. And you might see, well, the first 40 years, we weren't doing much, just a few certification programs. That's what we did. And then you might recognize 2014, something happened. We broke the relationship with our strategic partner, Society for Human Resources Management, SHRM, SHRM. And from that point on, the last 10 years, man, we've been busy. We realized that certification programs were just the beginning. The profession was changing. Professionals in HR needed more from us. And we tried to deliver to the best that we could, doing the same thing that we've been doing for the last 50 years. We implemented continuous testing. You can now test 24/7 throughout the world at any time. We added a certification for entry-level professionals. We even dedicate ourselves to ISO standards with the development of a sister company, the HR Standards Institute. All of these things are revolutionary. Nobody's doing anything like that. Nobody has done it before. And we're bringing this experience of the previous 40 years doing excellence in programs. And the results are here. The credibility that brings with the rigorous programs that we build for certification. And that's really our background, how we do things together. But what is it that we really are? Because one thing is the certification programs that we have to offer, but another thing is what is HRCI? Why is it different? And it's the flexibility, the adaptability, and the relevance of how we interpret things. This is not just something that we put out there, go ahead and take it. We have a conversation, we study, we research, we get the feedback, and that's how we're able to make sure that we are the most credible and the most recognized certification programs in the world. Now, if you ask me, what is the secret formula? Coca-Cola has this secret formula. What is the core DNA of HRCI? This is it. We build things to the highest standards. Accreditation, third-party validation, that is the key of what we do. That is in the core of everything that we do. Even when we're not putting things directly for accreditation, we're building it so that it is ready the day that we want to. And I know what you're thinking, and I already mentioned a few names. Well, JD, isn't this something that CIPD, SHRM is also offering? The answer is no. Accreditation, credibility, third-party recognition, that is something unique to HRCI. And if they have an accreditation, if they have some kind of third-party recognition, look into it. Ask which one is it? What is it for? Certification for HR professionals is not British HR. It's not American HR. Today and in the future is going to be global HR. And that's where HRCI comes in, our global HR certifications. Of the 8 certifications that we have, 4 of them are dedicated to the international HR, to the global environment that we're living in. In the region, in the GCC, in Kuwait, we're not new. We've been around for a few years. And what I just mentioned is something that not everybody understands, but those who do embrace it and make it part of their own DNA as well. This is how we spread with those who understand what we're trying to do, what we've been dedicated to for 50 years. In Kuwait, that's North Star Management Consultancy. They are the only certification preparation provider and recertification provider and consultant provider for the HR Standards Institute. What that means is that they can prepare you as an individual to take our certification exams. They can help you to stay in the community by ensuring your recertification every 3 years. And if you want to take the step to take your organization to get certified according to ISO standards, they can also help you with that process. All in one package. Any questions that you have about this, talk to North Star Management Consultancy. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Mohammed Sami and North Star Management for allowing me to be here to represent HRCI, to have this opportunity to share with you this information, to share what we know has been working. We know that we have something of value. But also at a personal level to me, this is an opportunity to learn from you, to gather feedback, as we've been hearing, the good and the bad, and to take that back to my colleagues in Washington, D.C., to say this is what we need to do, what we need to adjust, what we're getting right, to make sure that we are able to hit it right. Another component of how we build our certifications is ISO standards. How many of you know that there is a technical committee for human resource management standards? How many of you know that there's ISO standards for HR? Let me see hands. They're out there. They've been out there for a while. Some of them are already out, some of them are in progress, some of them have already been approved. This is also one of the components that really influences what HRCI is about. To a point that HRCI holds the secretariat of the technical committee. That means that we run the agenda for what standards are going to be considered and developed. To what extent do we believe in this? To the point that HRCI developed and created a sister company, the Human Resource Standard Institute, to certify organizations according to those ISO standards. At this time, there's 3 different organization certifications that you can get: workplace inclusion, human capital reporting, workplace wellness. If you want to know more about this information, tomorrow there's going to be a session just about this program. Please attend if you want to learn. Going back to how we develop our certification programs at the individual level. This is the HRCI capability model. As you can see, you guys, the HR professionals in the middle, surrounded by the experience, the environment in which you're operating, and the stakeholders that are taking care of all of this influence in your everyday. And that requires the knowledge and the capability to make it happen. The international certifications that we have built have different levels of knowledge and capabilities to make sure that they're taking you through a journey in your HR career, providing you with the information and the requirements of the skills necessary to perform in that level of your career. Once again, these are the international certifications. I'm going to go in depth into each one of them. How do we know that this is working? Again, 95% Fortune 500 companies have HRCI certified individuals. We know that the organizations that they're serving, they're performing. And we have these certifications taking you through your journey, through your career. How do we build them? This is not some all-bearded man in the United States thinking, this is what HR should be about. These certifications are built by you, by HR practitioners from all over the world who are certified, who come to the offices, who have discussions about what HRCI is, what HR should be, and what the programs should be all about. Discussing what is and what is going to be. Very similar to what ISO is doing, taking that into consideration as well. This is the career path for an HR professional with HRCI. No matter where you are in your HR career, you're going to be able to find a certification that works for you. Here we have matched them to some of the positions that you usually see in the work environment. Maybe you're here, mid-level, every day doing the same type of activity, but you have a dream, you have a goal. You want to become an HR director, a CHRO. You know what is necessary to get there. We're here to help you with that process, to validate what you're doing right now, and to help you with what's to come in the future for your career and the organizations that you serve. Now, let me go a little bit in depth into each one of them. And I'm going to go fast through these slides because all this information is available on the website. And again, if you have some questions, you can talk to the North Management team, and they can help you with that. Associate Professional Human Resources International, the entry-level certification. It does not require any prior HR experience. Anybody can take this. And it's available in Arabic. For about 2 years now, we've been delivering this program in the GCC, available in Arabic, realizing that this could be the first step towards many young people, entry-level people, people who've been doing admin for years, who need that component of HR as well. It's here to help. But here's something else that we have discovered. A lot of managers who are not in HR, who have teams to manage, who have conversations with the HR department quite often, they need to learn the lingo. They need to understand why some things matter. This certification is going to help them with that process. And again, anybody can take it. It's just information. It's just knowledge. These are the functional areas of the exam content outline. This is what is going to be covered in the exam. The percentages refer to the number of questions that you're going to find in the exam. It gives you a sense of the fundamentals, the basic, the structure that you're going to require in order to perform in HR. Next level up, Professional in Human Resources International, PHRI. This is the mid-level operational tactical certification. Some people say, well, JD, I've been doing HR for 20 years. What do you do? Payroll. That's not enough. You need to understand what HR is all about. These are generalist certifications. What that means is that if you're put in an HR position in which Let's say that you come from a department of 20 people in HR, and tomorrow you get hired by a startup, and you're one of 5. You gotta do it all. You gotta know how to do that. Or maybe you are in that company of 20 people in HR, and you're promoted to do something else, from payroll to something else. How do you know what to do in that new position? You have to know at least the fundamentals. So again, general certification, the basic of what it is to be in HR. You want specialization, we'll help you with that there, to get there, but there's also going to be a fundamental. For this one, you do need a combination of education and prior HR experience. Some of you might find yourselves there. No bachelor's degree, no university. Bachelor's degree, university, master's degree, and the years of experience necessary for that. Just to clarify what that is about. The exam content outline with the functional areas, this is what is covered in the exam. You might say, well, I do this all day, or I do this all day. What about that? Do you do that? Do you have an idea what that's about? You need to know that. Next level up, Senior Professional Human Resources International. This is the Strategic Policy Making Certification. What does that mean? As a director, as a CHRO, you need to be familiar with the labor laws, with the legislation, with the business plan of your organization, and to connect that with your resources in your organization. That's what it does. These are the requirements. And these are the functional areas. Notice the difference. 33% of leadership and strategy. This is not HR anymore. This is HR business partner. We're helping you to get there. And then we have another strategic policy-making certification. This is the Global Professional Human Resources, similar to the SPHRI at the same level, let's say, but this is meant for multinational corporations, for those HR professionals that are responsible for multiple countries, realizing the difference in culture, realizing what global mobility is about, realizing the globalization movement that we're living these days. Requirements. And the functional areas. If you ask me, this is the world we live in. Some people ask me, should I get SPHRI or GPHR? Both. There's no way, unless you're going to only work in your country, and that's the only thing that you're going to do. You have no business whatsoever with anybody else. You're going to need this. So let's say that you have identified the certification that is for you. You're ready to take on this challenge, this next step in your career. You can do this today. Doesn't need anything other than a name and an email address. Go to hrci.org, create an account, sign up for the newsletter. You get all the information about what we're all about. Every Thursday, we have free webinars addressing some of the trends and topics that are happening in HR. A lot of different free information and accessible things that are going to help you with your everyday in HR. Once you identify the certification that is for you, you go ahead and schedule the exam. You apply, schedule the exam. Go to North Star Management for preparation. They'll help you even with your application. They'll help you with the selection process. And they'll help you to schedule your exam with Pearson VUE, our testing partner. You pass your exam, you earn your certification, you get a digital badge that you can put on your email signature, on your LinkedIn profile, on your resume. You can print a diploma. And there's always going to be a Credly website account where any employer, any colleague can identify whether you're active or not. That's what's going to make it real. Pearson VUE is our testing partner. For a high-stakes exam like the ones that we offer, we need a partner that understands what it means. Level of security, and make sure that we have the right level of proctoring when somebody's taking the exam. Pearson VUE offers that. The same exam, no matter where you take it in the world. Imagine that. And you can take the exam at a Pearson VUE test center or at home, online, in the office. Again, flexibility, we're here for you no matter where you are. You earn your digital badge, which looks like this. And like I said, you can print your diploma, you can add it to your email signature, put it on LinkedIn for the world to see. Once you're certified, You're an HR professional. You live in these dynamic times. How do you stay current? How do you stay relevant? How do you know what's going on out there? The process of recertification, which is what makes a certification, not a certificate. This is not a program that you go through, you finish, you get a diploma, you're all set for life. Recertification is what makes it real, what it's a component of a profession. Each one of the different certification programs is going to have recertification credits that are required every 3 years. 45 for the APHRI, 60 for the other ones. And the strategic certifications, the SPHRI have business credits, 15 of them, and the GPHR, 15 global credits. Coming to a conference like this one, because Northstar Management is a recertification provider, they were able to submit the sessions and get recognition for general credits and business credits. So if this conference is something you attend every year, 3 years in a row, you're getting a lot of credits helping you with your recertification process. And this is what some people tell me. Well, I don't need a certification. I'm getting educated, coming to conferences, going on webinars. But yeah, you're doing the recertification already. Why not get certified and be able to get the foundation of all that continuous learning that you're already encouraging yourself? Now I want to talk about, those of you who are certified already know this. And I'm just going to say some general things about what it means to be certified. But in essence, this is the whole idea. And when we see the surveys, why do people get certified? They do it for themselves. This is not a show-off operation, but it does help to be recognized. You, as a certified professional, have a competitive advantage. If you're looking for another position in your company or trying to get recognized by another organization, that's going to be a differentiating factor. You get access to a community of HRCI certified professionals. In Kuwait, it's large enough, but there's also a global community that can help you to go through the dynamic times that we're experiencing. Maybe other organizations in other countries are experiencing something very similar that is about to start here. You can connect with them and identify how to go through that. The level of recognition from your own peers in your own organization. This is the HR expert. This is the person you need to ask. And this is the individual component, the knowledge of mastery that you know that you're an HR professional. You know what you're talking about. There's that sense of, I got this. At a more personal level, we see how this results in higher annual income. People go through their organizations or other jobs and get faster income growth within their careers. They're happy about what they do, which is essential. And they're recognized in the job market compared to others. But this is not just something that is good for the HR professional as an individual. It's recognized by supervisors, by organizations. Let's get real. Some people don't understand HR. There are some CEOs like, yeah. You guys are the ones who do payroll. But they also see a certification. That means something to them. Somebody who's an accountant and gets certified as an accountant, they understand what you guys are going through. And let's talk about that for a minute. The value to the organization. Let's talk numbers. HR business partner, this is what we're talking about. A few years ago, we conducted a study with a strategic partner, Top Employers Institute. In red, you can see the organizations that are top employers, the ones that have been benchmarked according to the best practices in HR at a global level. In purple, organizations that had 5 or more HRCI certified individuals. The numbers don't lie. Is it a coincidence? Call it what you wish. But there is something here that is clear. And I think we can talk about it with a substantial confidence, which is HRCI certifications, they're not just a risk mitigation method. It's a business result motivator. It focuses on the outcome. HR professionals who are certified, they become those business partners who are implementing business plans and they're impacting the bottom line. Doesn't that sound like a sweet thing to sing to your CEO, to your bosses? And how do we do that? KPIs. What gets measured gets done. That's what HR is all about, and it shows. And again, at an individual level, becoming an HR business partner is the challenge of every HR professional. And everybody wants to get there. Some people might say some certifications or some masters, some certificates are specialized on that. But you need that foundation. The certification programs are exactly that. They give you the structure. We all belong to groups, to organizations, to families. We don't do this just for ourselves. We do it to contribute to a higher call. We want to improve those organizations. Once you're certified, we're here for you. Calling again on the ISO influence, this is from the Human Capital Reporting Standard. There are 11 clusters of metrics. Some of these are influencing the learning that we're developing through our learning center. We want to make sure that you are empowered to know what is and what is to come. And that if you take the step to get certified as an organization according to ISO standards, you're familiar with this because you're already implementing this kind of thing. About 10 years ago, Harvard Business Review said, it's time to blow up HR. Let's get rid of it. And maybe they were thinking HR is personnel. You know, the old idea of what HR was all about. Maybe they were onto something. But the reality is that 10 years later, more people are interested in HR because HR is not just personnel. HR is about taking care of your people. HR is about the bottom line, the business. HR is about learning and development. We also knew this 10 years ago. HRCI came out with a book, The Rise of HR. We asked 73 leaders in HR, connected to HR, to the business world. This is a book that you can download for free today as a PDF if you scan the QR code or go into that website. You can, again, find it through the HRCI website if you go there. In this book, some things might be outdated. They already happened. Some things might be spot on. Some things are yet to come. But the point is that we all knew that something was changing, and we all were able to respond in different ways. How others did it, maybe they just went through the motions, again, about just being connected to the times and adapt. We decided that we were going to do something about it, and we took that step of all the different things that we did to our certification programs. What are we keeping an eye on today? No surprise, AI. 60% of jobs in advanced economies will be impacted by AI. This is going to happen. This is happening. But when it comes to HR, this is already happening. These are all the areas within HR that are being affected by AI and that are going to be affected by AI. This is what we're keeping an eye on. This is our commitment to making sure that as you advance as professionals in your continuous development, we're providing you with the knowledge that you need to be relevant, to adapt, to see what's coming. In fact, it is quite possible that HR might stand for something different. Hybrid resources. HR might be the ones implementing AI and human, coming up with the policies, coming up with what is it that you need to do to make that relationship work. And that's what it's all about. That's what HRCI is here to offer you. We want you to join this community, whether it is at an individual level as a certified professional or as an organization through the influence of ISO. We're asking you, join us. I'm looking forward to having conversations with all of you, learn more about it, hear what you have to say about the certification programs, and hopefully get a good idea of how I can better serve all of you. This is my information if you want to connect via LinkedIn. And that's it for me today. Thank you very much. Shukran.